How we going, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin, and welcome to our Judas Priest series, our final day of the countdown to Invincible Shield. We finally made it, didn't we? And thank you everyone for who's watched this series. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I've been getting a lot of comments. The viewership of the channel is certainly, on average going up. But most importantly, I don't know what's happened, but this month the interaction has gone through the roof. I'm getting loads of comments. I mean, I always make an effort to try and reply to each and every one, and that was never a task to begin with. But now it's actually getting quite. I'm spending a good half hour just replying to comments before I start making any videos. So I've got quite a few new subscribers as well in the last month. So welcome aboard, everyone, and yeah, if you've enjoyed this series, I've done a similar thing with Rush. I've got Rushcast, and I've got 3 more shows to do with that. That's I'll do with a co-host, Paul. And obviously, my magnum opus is Maidencast, which I do with Luke. That will continue as and when Maiden activity happens. We've got the proper review of Bruce's new album. Can't even remember what it's called now. The Mandrake Project. We just did an initial reaction the other day, but we'll be back soon with that. But yeah, let's finally get into it. The review of the new album. I did an unboxing yesterday, and I've gone through we've gone through the entire catalogue. So most importantly, I suppose, where does this sit in the catalogue? And really, quite simply, it picks up from where Firepower left off. It's the same lineup as the last 2 albums, and Andy Sneap is back behind the desk producing the album, so that's the 2nd album he's done now. I think he's going to be in the live band as well. I think that's pretty much the setup now, with Glenn making the odd appearance as and when he can. But yeah, all the songs are written by Richie Faulkner, Glenn Timpton and Rob Halford. Just have a quick flick through the credits just to make sure of that. Yep. Apart from one, written by Bob Halligan Jr., whoever that is. But yeah, apart from that, it's all produced by Andy and mixed and all that good stuff. Yeah. So with Redeemer of Souls, Firepower, and this, I think you've pretty much got a perfect trilogy. I mean, if this is to be, don't want to tempt fate, but if there's another Judas Priest album coming along, that's great. But if this does happen to be the last one, I think it's a great send-off. I mean, let's face it, you're looking at 5 years. Let's be honest. The band are doing a world tour now. That's going to be 2 years at least. Then the time off, Rob's 72 now. He has no business singing this good at his age. It's got to be said out the gate. But yeah, time will tell, I suppose. But let's see how it pans out. But yeah, and I think hats off to Richie Faulkner, because he has rejuvenated the band since he's joined the band. What we thought was going to be the end of the band, we've now got 3 of the best albums they've done, really. And you might not say these are some of the best albums, but they've at least got some of the best songs ever released by the band. And yeah, this just carries on with that tradition, really. I love that. I really hope that's on a t-shirt when the tour does come round. What is it, the 21st? I'm seeing them. So yeah, let's get into the music then. So Panic Attack kind of sounds quite 80s. It's got this nice like guitar melody, but it's kind of synthesized and kind of retro sounding. It kind of, you've got a lot of 80s aesthetic in a lot of TV shows, and there's a lot of sort of retro going on. You've got like the synth wave music subgenre, and it seems like they tapped into that a little bit. They could have just opened with like that opening riff, but it's got a bit of a 80s, almost like a soundtrack to like a kung fu film or something. But then it kicks in to Panic Attack, And yeah, it's basically Priest being Priest. It's a good album opener. Scott Travis is thundering on the drums behind, well, on every song really. Um, every song, just like Firepower, just like Redeemer of Souls, it's just everything's just a perfect mix of fast riffs, big grooves, big melodies, massive choruses penned by Rob. I mean, I think he's writing some of the best lyrics and some of the best vocal patterns, of his career. But yeah, it sets the pace nicely. Serpent and the King, same sort of thing. Great chorus. That Serpent and the King chorus, it's hard to describe these songs. It's hard to review them without me just singing them to you. It's Priest being Priest, basically. But yeah, same thing again. Invincible Shield. Now, I did watch a Q&A with a band, and it looks like that's definitely going to be in the set. And that is a thundering song. That's probably one of the faster ones. That and I think it's God Is My Witness is pretty shreddy, if I remember rightly. But yeah, Invincible Shield is quite technical, quite all over the place, but with a nice, hooky chorus to just hold it all together. Devil in Disguise has got a good groove to it. Like a ding, 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 and Gates of Hell as well has got a phenomenal solo in it, and again, just a great mixture of melodies and riffs and hooks. And Crown of Horns is a really good song, really nice song. That's probably where they tone it down a little bit. It's a very feel-good song. Obviously, when Crown of Horns came out, Michael Sweet from Stryper tweeted out that it was a song about Christ, and yeah, you could definitely interpret it that way. I mean, why he's Crown of Horns rather than Crown of Thorns, but I think it's a bit more of a personal song for Rob with just that little reference in there, so it's not like a preachy song or anything like that. But I hear a lot of biblical references in these lyrics, so not sure. Yeah, I don't know if Rob's been God-pilled lately, but if he is, it's good to see. But I think it's definitely there in the background with songs like God Is My Witness and Gates of Hell, and there was another one as well. I was thinking, yeah, like it's there, but it's not in your face. But yeah, I suppose it's perfectly vague and it's all open for interpretation. But yeah, it's an observation, basically. Take it or leave it. But yeah, Crown of Horns is a really good song, really good feel-good anthem, especially in the interlude. As God Is My Witness is another really good song. Trial by Fire's got a great... Yeah, God Is My Witness is really fast and shreddy. That kind of, could be on Painkiller. Trial by Fire's got a real sort of anthemic... whoa in the end of it. I can see that being really good live. Oh, there was the one. Devil in Disguise. It's just subtly in the background, in like the backing vocals, but the devil in disguise, and he sort of goes up. It reminds me a little bit of how he goes up at the end of Leather Rebel, and it's not too much at the forefront because I suppose he's got to be expected to do it live, but yeah, that's a really cool twist on it. I mean, Rob's vocals are phenomenal on this, and they're all multi-layered, and he must have been in a vocal booth, and it's all like there's all just loads of little and it's all loads of little details, but he must have been in a vocal booth ages just layering all these vocals, but it works really well. Sons of Thunder, another phenomenal song, and then Giants in the Sky finishes off the album really well, actually. And you get 3 bonus tracks on this one, on this edition. Pick it up while you can. I think it's like, for the £2 difference, it's worth getting the 3 songs, but it's not essential. And I do think the album, if you do listen to it just as the 11 tracks, it is a better experience. It's 53 minutes, the initial 11 songs, and then it's an hour and 3 minutes if you include the bonus tracks of just over an hour. But Fight for Your Life and Vicious Circle are just as good. They fit in nicely. I can see why they were taken out of the album, but they're just as good. The Lodger is the interesting one, and it's interesting that they put that last, just to give you something a bit different to finish with. But yeah, just the 11 initial tracks on their own, it works really well, filed down. So yeah, the bonus tracks are indeed just bonus tracks. They're there as a bonus, you know. But yeah. Is it as good as Firepower? I'm not sure. It's a little unfair. I've not even had the album 24 hours. In fact, yeah, the album is, at the time of recording, is 16 hours long, so it's a little bit unfair to compare it to an album that's been out a couple of years. But on initial listens, at this point I've listened to the album 4 times, so I'm kind of shooting from the hip here. But I'd say it sits with it, it stands with it nicely, and I'm quite confident and quite happy at this moment. Referring, sorry, to this so far as the Richie Faulkner trilogy, and I think it's a new golden age for the band creatively. The band have been on fire for the last 3 albums, and to come back from initially announcing retirement to coming back and putting out 3 of the best albums you've ever put out is it's just testament to how great this band is. It's funny because Judas Priest, I'm just reflecting now on the back catalogue since we've done this album a day thing. Judas Priest are they always compelled and sort of parallel to Iron Maiden, but I think if you look at their back catalogue, they actually have more in common with Megadeth. And Megadeth worked from the debut album, working up to a peak and then to another peak, and then kind of just taking a left turn or taking a complete change, kind of falling flat on their face really, and then taking a couple of albums to recover from it, and then finding a new groove, finding their feet again, and then sort of diving into it again. And that's what Priest have always sort of done in retrospect. They sort of worked up to a bit, started from bottom again with a new style, so they kind of started from scratch again for Point of Entry. They sort of worked up to British Steel, started again on Point of Entry, worked their way up to Defenders of Fit, went completely, took a complete left turn with Turbo, then ram it down, and sort of them finding, reworking everything with what they've got, and sort of gone, right, well, we know this has worked, we've done that now, how can we interpret this into what's already got? So Ram It Down was quite an experimental album. Then we've got Painkiller, where they've gone completely balls to the wall, so they kind of gone completely full all the way with one element of the sound of Turbo, and then went completely the other way with Painkiller, and Ram It Down is sort of like the bridge in between. Then obviously they had to find their feet again with Tim. Then they've got that flexing their muscles again with Angel of Retribution, and then gone completely full bore by going prog and symphonic, and basically writing a metal opera with Nostradamus. And yeah, it just feels with these last 3 albums, and in particular with this one, they've just accumulated everything in the catalogue of what works, what doesn't. There's just a little bit of mixture of everything. And in the comments of this alone, some of my least favourite albums, I've got people going, that's my favourite album. I don't know what you're talking about. I love that album. And then one of my favourite albums, no, that album never really did it for me. And like I say, my least favourite Judas Priest album has got some of my favourite Judas Priest songs on it. So even on a bad day, I could put up with Priest. There was no real album where I could just throw the thing out the window. And this is what you've got now on these last 3 albums. And the only real criticism I could come up with is that they've gone formulaic, but I don't even think that's something someone could say. But no, they found the formula that works, and it is working on these last 3 albums, and it works particularly well on this album as well, because with the last 2 albums, everything's come together, and we've got this good mix of everything that's great about Priest throughout the album. On this, they managed to do it in every song. Every song has got everything you want in a Priest song. Everything is a perfect Priest song, followed by another one, followed by another one, followed by another one. Just slightly adjusted. This one's a bit faster. This one's a bit more doomy, a bit more melodic. But they're all tied together by these big, massive choruses, and it just works. It just works. And you've got it with Maiden, you've got it with Saxon, you've got it with Priest. I can't believe, insert band here. All of the older bands are putting out some of their best music ever, and it's we're saying, oh, I can't believe a band that's been going this long is putting out music this good. But no, only a band that's been going out this long can make music this good. It's a craft that you just never stop. You're never good enough. It's always an improvement. It's I was reading Vagabond, the manga about the samurai swordsman, but he's always, to keep himself disciplined, and he's a potter as well, and he gets fascinated with pottery as well as being a swordsman. To use that as an analogy, pottery and swordsmanship also makes really good metal. I don't know. I think that works. We'll put that together. But yeah, anyway, right. Like I say, thanks very much, everyone. If you have jumped on board with this series, I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, I will be doing the odds and sods as well. So I'll be doing Fight, I'll be doing the Halford albums, and I'll be doing Glenn Timpton's solo albums as well. I'm going to be doing it sporadically as well, though, over the coming weeks. So bear with me, they are coming. I've got new albums. What we've got? Exalted, we've got Skeletal Remains. I've got a couple of albums here by other bands to show off or to review, plus other releases. I want to crack on with Rushcast as well. I've got 3 more shows to do with that. I need to get Jackie Smith back on board as well. Jackie Smith from Into the Necrosphere. We've got to do part 4 of our Napalm Death retrospective. I've got Scott Walters coming on, and we're going to be doing a retrospective on Mortification. I've got to do retrospectives on. I want to do King's X. I want to do Corona. I want to do Obituary. Well, I want to do loads of bands. Testament, Exodus, so on and so forth. So yeah, loads to be getting on with, and the rest of the Judas Priest related albums will become sporadically in due course. So yeah. I'm rambling now, so I'm just going to finish. Like I say, I think this is a fantastic album, a fantastic addition to a monumental back catalogue. I'm really enjoying it. I hope you're really enjoying it as well. I hope this is going to, I'm going to be listening to this all weekend. I think this is going to be a really good soundtrack to the summer as well, because it's just real good, feel-good songs on there. And the album feels how this album cover looks, actually. It's all colourful and detailed, and the more you look at it, the more cool it gets, and that's kind of how the music is. So yeah, this is the end of Countdown to Invincible Shield. So thanks a lot, everyone. Keep watching. If you've enjoyed it, there's other stuff to be talking about. I cover all sorts of every other type of metal and rock and everything else to go. So yeah, have a good weekend, everyone, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks very much. Cheers.